Hey everybody, this is Matthew with Forging Your Legend, where we help people turn their toughest battles into their greatest legends. So today I want to talk to you about some of the key traits that are shared by people who succeed in their healing and transformation journeys, as opposed to those who don't. This is not meant to be a comprehensive, definitive list. It's just some of the most important ones that I've seen in my work and that I saw in my own journey. So I hope you can find something in this video that will help you to see where you're already doing a great job and also to see where you could improve things. Most of these are completely in your control. There's only one on here that's not in your control directly, and for that one I'm going to explain why it's not as big of a thing as people think. Let's start at 0, baseline, before we even get to 1. People who succeed choose to be the captain of their life instead of a victim of it. Whatever happens to you, and everybody has bad things happen to them, you can either decide that you have something you can do because you've always got a choice, or that you're a victim of it. Being the captain of your life doesn't mean it's always going to be easy, but it is a place of empowerment from which everything else is possible. Which leads us to number 1. That is having a vision. You don't have to have a massive vision, it doesn't have to be a perfect vision, but you want to have some kind of vision of where you want to go. Maybe it's an idea of what your mountaintop looks like, your ideal, or maybe it's just a feeling you're headed towards. But the people who succeed, they always have some kind of vision, some idea of where they're trying to get to. Next thing, number 2, is about consistency and endurance. You have to be able to show up for your work, your daily practice, every day, and do that over a long period of time in many cases in order to see the lasting change. A lot of people fail in this regard because they'll either be consistent for a month or 2 and then lose steam because they feel like it's not working, or they just never get consistent enough in the first place. And that's unfortunate because they're not going to get very far in that case. Number 3, they follow the recipe. There's a recipe to success with this. And, there's different recipes. It's not all the same, but there are common features in every recipe. And if somebody comes to me and says, I did the steps and it didn't work, I might look at that and say, well, if you got something that's close, we might just need to make some tweaks. I can see when you did the work, but you just didn't have something quite right, and we can work with that. But when I have people come to me and say, I tried to make this work, and here's what I ended up with, and they hand me an avocado when they had a recipe for a cake, clearly they didn't even follow the recipe remotely. And it may not even be that they are consciously doing that. They may have unconsciously gotten stuck, but you have to follow the recipe if you want to get the result. Number 4, they see challenging moments as opportunities for growth and learning rather than as failures or indications that they can't succeed. This is all about grit and a growth mindset. You have to be able to look at these moments and say, you know what? I'm not where I want to be, but what can I learn from this? What can I get from this? How can this help me? Number 5, they're able to balance feeling and regulation. A lot of people fall on one side or the other of this. They either regulate to the point where they just keep suppressing themselves and they use brain retraining or other healing modalities to actually just be even more suppressed. Or they're too emotional and they're not able to regulate, and they think that being emotional is how you honor, your inner child or something like that. But you need both. Every human being needs both. Some people need more of one versus the other. Some periods of the journey need more of one versus the other, but you do have to have some of each. Number 6, they embrace gratitude and positivity. I'm not talking about toxic positivity. I'm talking about real gratitude and positivity where you can recognize that some things aren't where you want them to be and they're not great and you can work to change them. But you can also be grateful for all the really amazing things that are there. When I was really sick, I used to just be grateful that I could take a breath. And I was grateful that I could smell the lilacs that were brought in and put by the bed. Number 7, they look for reasons why they are similar to people who've succeeded rather than different from them. When you find reasons you're similar, you put yourself consciously and unconsciously in their camp. You say to your brain, I'm like them, we can be like them. Versus when you say, well, they had this and I have this, so those are different and that means I can't. You separate yourself from their success. Don't do that. Find the reasons you're similar to those who've succeeded before you. Number 8, they have a bias toward action, taking healthy risks and pushing themselves. But at the same time, number 9, they also have enough self-love and self-compassion to do that in the right way. There's definitely a balance with that. There's a time to push and a time to go slow. And it takes a fine balance of self-attunement and a strong sense of I can handle challenges and I can handle a little bit of pain and pushback. Number 10, they are authentic and they have healthy boundaries. This is so important because if you can't be authentic, if you can't set boundaries, you're not going to be able to come out of fight or flight survival mode. But when you know your needs and you're able to express them and you're able to have healthy, compassionate boundaries, you will go far. Number 12, they live their purpose every day. Your purpose is what you're here to do and what you're here to be. It's not just about your actions, it's also about who you are. And if you can live your authentic purpose, you can do anything else because so many doorways open when you connect to your purpose. And finally, number 12, this is the one where this isn't probably in your control, at least not directly. It's about resources. And let's just be honest, some people have more resources than others. Some people have great supportive family and friends. Some people have plenty of money. Some people have neither. Some people have a stable house and some people don't. And these things do matter. They do have a real effect on people's ability to heal and transform. But if you are without something crucial, that does not mean you can't have it. And it doesn't mean that if it doesn't come to you, that you can't heal, that you can't move forward. It's going to be more challenging, yes. We won't pretend that it's not. But you have enough to move forward. Trust that you do. Don't let that stop you. Don't let that turn you from a captain into a victim. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found this useful. If you did, leave a comment, a like, a share, a follow, a subscribe, and you can find more at forgingyourlegend.com. Thanks so much, and make it an amazing day.